Ah, celebrities with birth defects. Cool. From webbed toes to mirrored organs, these A-list names prove a congenital difference doesn't limit success. Here are a bunch of celebrities who were born with rare birth defects or notable birth conditions. Sorry to interrupt, but if someone born with a rare condition can still make headlines, you can definitely hit that subscribe button. Thanks. Syndactyly, commonly called webbed toes, is a congenital condition where two or more toes are fused by skin or soft tissue. Both Ashton Kutcher and Dan Aykroyd have spoken about it with good humor, even showing it on camera, which helped normalize a difference that many people keep private. Kutcher, a tech investor as well as an actor, has backed companies in cybersecurity and health, while Aykroyd's career stretches from SNL and Ghostbusters to co-founding the House of Blues. Medically, syndactyly occurs in roughly 1 in 2,000 to 2,500 births and ranges from partial to complete fusion. It's usually harmless and routinely corrected if it affects function. The bigger story? Their openness. By treating a birth difference as no big deal, they've made millions of fans more comfortable with their own quirks, and reminded casting directors that talent travels just fine, webbing or not. Peter Dinklage was born with achondroplasia, the most common genetic form of dwarfism, which affects bone growth and results in shorter limbs relative to the torso. Rather than letting Hollywood typecast him, he pursued layered, complex roles, from the station agent to his Emmy-winning turn as Tyrion Lannister in Game of Thrones. Beyond acting, Dinklage is known for advocacy around animal welfare and for pushing the industry to write characters with dignity instead of punchlines. Achondroplasia typically stems from a mutation in the FGR3 gene. Intelligence and life expectancy are generally normal, and stature varies widely. Dinklage's career is a case study in representation. Audiences embraced a fully realized protagonist whose wit and moral compass, rather than height, drove the story. In doing so, he helped open doors for disabled performers and showed that a rare condition doesn't define the size of your impact. Arnold Schwarzenegger was born with a bicuspid aortic valve, a congenital heart defect in which the aortic valve has 2 flaps instead of the usual 3. Many people never know they have it, others need monitoring or surgery later in life. Schwarzenegger has been candid about his valve procedures, using his platform to encourage regular checkups. That transparency matches a life of reinvention. A 7-time Mr. Olympia who became a box office force, then California's governor, and later a climate advocate promoting clean energy. A bicuspid valve can lead to stenosis or regurgitation as calcium builds up, but with modern cardiology, outcomes are excellent. Schwarzenegger's fitness focus, cardio, strength, and disciplined recovery also models heart-healthy habits. British actor and presenter Adam Pearson has neurofibromatosis type 1, a genetic condition that can cause benign tumors to grow on nerves and changes in skin pigmentation. He first reached a global audience opposite Scarlett Johansson in Under the Skin, and has since become a powerful voice challenging how film and TV depict disfigurement. NF1 varies hugely in severity. Some people have cafe au lait spots and few symptoms, while others develop plexiform neurofibromas that change facial contours. Pearson's documentary work and public speaking emphasize person-first storytelling. Viewers meet an articulate professional, not a diagnosis. He also consults on scripts to reduce lazy villain with a scar tropes. By combining advocacy and on-screen charisma, Pearson shows how representation improves when people with lived experience help shape the narrative, and why inclusive casting is both ethically right and creatively richer. Sylvester Stallone's famous snarl and slightly slurred speech come from a forceps-related birth injury that damaged facial nerves, leading to partial paralysis of his lower left face. While not a genetic birth defect, it's a difference present from birth, and proof that unconventional features can become iconic. Stallone wrote Rocky in 3 days, insisted on starring, and turned a $1 million indie into a Best Picture winner. Later, Rambo and Creed extended his screen legacy. Facial nerve palsy can affect eyelid closure, lip movement, and speech. Many adapt with therapy, surgery, or just sheer persistence. Stallone's path underlines a broader truth for the industry. Authenticity reads on camera. What others might have treated as a flaw became character, grit, vulnerability, determination that audiences worldwide recognized and rooted for. Harry Styles has joked about having extra nipples, or in medical terms, polythelia, a benign congenital trait where additional nipple tissue forms along the so-called milk lines. It's more common than people think, typically harmless, and often goes unnoticed. Styles turned that trivia into fan lore, another example of how he blurs boundaries between pop idol and approachable human. Beyond the headlines and fashion risks, pearls, sequins, and gender-fluid tailoring, he's an acclaimed solo artist who sold out stadiums and won major awards after One Direction. Polythelia has no effect on performance or health for most people. If removal is desired, it's usually a minor outpatient procedure. In an era when social media magnifies every quirk, Styles' comfort with his body sends a helpful message to young fans. Confidence is the best look, and a tiny congenital difference doesn't need a filter. Halle Berry is often listed online as having been born with an extra toe, but that claim has been repeatedly debunked. Photos credited as proof are misinterpreted angles or duplicates.
2, 3, 4, 1, 5.
There's no credible evidence she has polydactyly. Why include her here? Because the rumor itself shows how quickly misinformation about birth defects spreads, especially about women, in ways that can overshadow achievement. Berry's achievements are substantial. An Oscar for Monsters Ball, genre-defining turns in X-Men and John Wick 3, and a push into directing with Bruised. Polydactyly is real and not uncommon in the general population, but attaching it inaccurately to a celebrity can stigmatize difference and distract from real representation. The better conversation is how Berry leveraged star power to expand roles for Black women in action and drama, turning headlines back toward craft, resilience, and agency. Andrea Bocelli was born with congenital glaucoma and lost his remaining vision after a sports accident as a child, yet he became one of the world's most beloved tenors. His crossover albums and arena tours brought operatic technique to mainstream audiences, and his duets, from Celine Dion to Ed Sheeran, bridged generations. Congenital glaucoma involves abnormal development of the eye's drainage system, raising intraocular pressure and risking optic nerve damage. Early treatment can preserve some vision, but outcomes vary. Bocelli's story highlights two things: the power of family support, because his mother encouraged music from an early age, and rigorous training. First law degree, then full-time singing. He founded a charitable foundation that funds education and healthcare projects worldwide. For people learning music, his phrasing and breath control are masterclasses. For anyone living with a disability, his career models ambition without apology. Malian superstar Salif Keita, often called the golden voice of Africa, was born with oculocutaneous albinism, a genetic condition that reduces melanin in the skin, hair, and eyes. In parts of West and East Africa, people with albinism have faced severe stigma and danger. Keita used his fame to flip the narrative. Musically, he fused Mande tradition with jazz, rock, and Afropop, creating global hits that carried both dance floor energy and social conscience. Albinism can bring visual impairment and sun sensitivity, underscoring the need for accessible education and sun protection. Keita launched the Salif Keita Global Foundation to advocate for healthcare and inclusion. His presence on the world stage, glowing white hair, luminous voice, became an emblem of pride for many families. The message in his lyrics and life is consistent. Difference is not a curse, but a calling, especially when it pushes culture toward empathy. Danny DeVito is widely reported to have multiple epiphyseal dysplasia, also known as Fairbanks disease, a genetic condition that affects the growth plates at the ends of long bones and can result in short stature and joint issues. Whatever the exact diagnosis, DeVito has turned his compact frame into comedic advantage without resorting to self-mockery. From Taxi and Matilda to his anarchic reinvention on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, He's a director, producer, and actor with range. Multiple epiphyseal dysplasia can cause early arthritis and gait differences. Many manage symptoms with activity modification and, when needed, orthopedic care. DeVito's behind-the-camera credits, such as Aaron Brockovich, Pulp Fiction, as executive producer via Jersey Films, reveal a tastemaker with sharp instincts. The industry lesson he embodies: audiences remember distinctive presence and timing more than measurements, and good taste in projects is a superpower. Mikhail Gorbachev, former leader of the Soviet Union, had a prominent port wine stain on his scalp that became one of the most recognizable features in world politics. A port wine stain is a congenital vascular birthmark caused by dilated capillaries. It can darken and thicken with age, but is otherwise benign. Beyond appearance, Gorbachev altered history. Perestroika and glasnost loosened the Soviet system and reshaped the Cold War's endgame. After politics, he founded the Gorbachev Foundation and supported environmental causes. Including him here underscores that celebrity can mean public figures whose faces are globally known. His visibility, complete with a distinctive birthmark, normalized having a facial or scalp difference on the world stage long before social media, reminding people that leadership is measured by choices and consequences, not by conforming to a flat, airbrushed ideal. NBA guard Randy Foye discovered as a rookie that he has situs inversus totalis, a rare congenital condition where the major internal organs are mirrored left to right. In other words, his heart points right, liver left. For most people with complete situs inversus, health is surprisingly normal, though it matters for medical imaging and surgery. Doctors must read scans backwards. Drafted 7th overall in 2006, Foye played for several teams, hit clutch threes, and became known for professionalism and community work. He later founded a foundation supporting youth in Newark, New Jersey. The cool science angle: situs inversus happens early in embryonic development when cilia-driven fluid flow around the embryo sets up the body's left-right axis. Foye's calm approach, own the fact, tell your trainers, keep hooping, helped demystify a condition most fans had never heard of, showing how elite athletes thrive with rare anatomy. Mark Wahlberg has mentioned having a small supernumerary nipple, again, a benign congenital variant known as polythelia. Unlike an accessory digit, it usually sits as a small mole-like spot along the embryonic milk line and has no effect on health. Wahlberg's second act might be even more impressive than his first. From charting as Marky Mark to earning Oscar nominations such as The Departed and The Fighter, building a production company behind hits like Entourage and Boardwalk Empire, and growing restaurant and fitness ventures. The broader point for viewers Googling birth defects: many so-called defects are simply anatomical variations with zero impact on performance or longevity. Wahlberg's candidness helped mainstream that idea years before body positivity was a hashtag. It also shows how media narratives shift. Quirky detail at first, then just another line in a resume, full of calculated risks that paid off. Heterochromia refers to differences in eye coloring. Mila Kunis has discussed eye issues stemming from chronic iritis. After treatment, her eyes present strikingly different hues. Kate Bosworth's sectoral heterochromia, blue with a brown section, became part of her screen mystique. Alice Eve's eyes are visibly two different colors, while Jane Seymour's green eyes show brown flecks. None of these variations affect their ability to perform. They simply add visual texture to close-ups. Off-screen, each built a multifaceted career. Kunis balances comedy and drama, Bosworth produces indie projects, Eve toggles between TV and film, and Seymour paints and runs a wellness brand. Together, they've made heterochromia one of the best-known rare traits, proof that difference can become a signature. Supermodel. Karolina Kurkova is frequently noted for having a smooth navel. The backstory: as a child, she reportedly had surgery for an umbilical hernia, and scar tissue left her with a barely visible belly button. In fashion, where midriffs are often on display, that feature became a conversation piece. And a reminder that surgical scars and heel differences don't diminish beauty or success. Kurkova's career spans Vogue covers, Victoria's Secret runways, and TV judging gigs. She's also active in maternal health advocacy. Umbilical hernias are common in infants, usually closing on their own. When they don't, simple procedures fix them. The "no belly button" meme shows how the internet can sensationalize normal medical outcomes. Kirkova's response has been to keep working, keep smiling, and keep redefining what a top model looks like, making room for authenticity right where airbrushing used to live. And there you have it. Do you know any more celebrities with birth defects? Let me know down below. Thanks for watching, and check out on more videos we've made.